Okay, all here I am today, this beautiful Tuesday afternoon in New Jersey, and got the upper level, third level going. I put some extra cars on the two trains and they're running around, and had to solder some joints because they were a little loose with the jointers, and it's been a hectic couple of days. Um, One thing, my 3D printer don't work, and I'm waiting to hear back from support. May have to send it back, or hopefully they can send me a new part. I don't know what's going on with it. The UV lights don't come on when it prints. I discovered that today when I tried to do a test print without the resin in it. And so I'm waiting to hear from support. I gave them those information and see what they say. Bernard at Mini Prints, he was helping me out a little bit, and Jim Tedusco was helping me out a little bit on the 3D printer. And Bernard said he had a similar problem with one of his printers, so hopefully that's what it is. Maybe support can fix it, or I'm just going to send it back and get another printer. So we'll see what happens. And then on my turntable project, let's see if I can get the arrow to show up. No, it's not showing up on the screen. But right where the engines are now, down below, you can see a little bit of a blue thing sticking on the wood there. That's the control panel for the turntable. And you push the buttons and it rotates the turntable around. And I have 7 service tracks on my turntable, but the I got up to number 4. I was doing each one and putting the buttons in to turn on and off the power to the tracks, the service tracks actually. And I was doing one at a time, and I got up to number 4, and the engine would run in and out, no problem. And then I go to do the 5th one, and I hit the up arrow on the control panel to go through the track numbers. I go to number 4, I hit the button again, and a 0 comes up. 5 should have came up, but a 0 came up. So I went the other way on the screen, and sure enough, 0 came up. So contacted Walter's support via email, and then the guy got back to me and he asked me a couple questions to clarify things, and I told him, and he said thanks for the clarification, and he was contacting the developer of the electronics on the turntable, and he was going to get back to me. And then I had the idea, hey, what about if we factory reset the controller? So he said, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Give that a try and let me know. So I factory reset it and had to set the turntable back to home, which is part of the procedure. And then I set service track 1, and then I set service track 2, and then I hit the up arrow for service track 3, and guess what? I got a 0. So now I only have 2 tracks that I can program. So I called Walters up today and spoke to the guy that I was working with, and then he said he didn't know what to think about it, and he said what I'm going to do is send you another controller and a new cable, and we'll see if that clears up the problem. He says there are circuit board in the turntable, and on the bridge there's a controller board too. So either I got a bad device altogether, or something's just not right. So he's going to send me a new controller. We're going to see what that does and get going there. So today I'm working from home, and I decided to do a little landscaping up there. And you can see my Woodland Scenic Static Grass applicator there on the screen. And as the trains are going by right now, excuse me. And when I bought that, I bought the power supply for it so I can use power. I don't like using battery operated tools. They are not as powerful as AC current is. So I went to look for the power adapter when I was making my tufts, and I couldn't find it, so I put a 9-volt battery in there, and it seemed to do a good job. But I did an area on my layout of 12 millimeter straw grass, and I thought that would stand up straight, and it didn't. So I talked to Woodland Scenics today, and they said, you know, battery's okay, but you needed to get good static electricity, you need to have the power supply. So I ordered a power supply, and then I'll do some more testing and seeing how it comes up. But right there, that static grass there is 12 millimeter, and it's sort of just laying down, which isn't what I expected to see. And so I'm just playing around with that. So a couple of odds and ends here this week. I was disappointed about my 3D printer and the turntable. Well, you know, electronics are electronics, right? And it took me a while to get it all electrically set up properly. I got that all done, and I was anxious to get the service tracks done because I put the road bed down this past week and relayed the track on there and got that all set up, and had to cut a couple pieces because it didn't come out quite as it was. Even though you draw lines, it still doesn't come out right. So got that all straightened out, and the double slip is operational now. Manually, I can flip them to get them to go in all 4 directions, or 6 directions, I guess. I don't know how many there are on there, but there's quite a few different combinations. And I got a PL10 from Pico and a PL15 from Pico that I have to figure out how they get put together and how to wire them up. So that's another day's project to do that. And I got an NCE Q-Snap, which you can plug the PL10s into that to control it on your NCE power cabinet. And then JMRI will recognize it also. So that's, you know, further down the road. I'm trying to get the turntable going. As you can see, the engines just run, the trains just run flawlessly up there. It's easy when you're on smooth, no hills, no crossings or anything like that, just straight track. But I didn't make it straight. I tried to curve it, you know, make it a little ziggly and stuff like that. No real track is laid straight down. So you can see in the right hand corner where that CSX engine is coming now, there's a KCS engine sitting there. It's barely visible. It's a small switcher, and that's on one of the service tracks of the turntables. So you can barely see the turntable because my meter is in the way. The bridge is on there, and I got the thing that goes over top of the bridge with the ladder on it and all that. That's all mounted on there, and it rotates around and all does all that. But I can't, program the other service tracks. So that's all trying to figure these things out. And I did something on OBS here because I couldn't get the recordings to record everything the way I wanted. So I'm just recording. I put the scene for the upper level on the same scene I'm on, so we should be able to see both here. So we'll see you all in the next video. Maybe I'll have some better news. But can't complain about the weather outside. That makes the day go by. Alright, all. We'll see you in the next video. And anybody got any ideas or suggestions for my issues, let me know. Thanks a lot.